HALA Madrid, HALA Madrid, así, así, así gana el Madrid, así, así, así gana el Madrid. Real Madrid beat Barcelona 3-2 in a very, very entertaining match, I do have to say. Shout out to Barcelona for putting up a fight, coming to the Bernabeu, and giving us an entertaining match. But in the end, Bellingham scores the winner. Lucas Vasquez scores a beautiful match, a beautiful goal, a beautiful play to earn a penalty, and he gets an assist. Lucas Vasquez always puts in performances, whether it's Champions League, whether it's going to take penalties, coming in as a sub, as a winger earlier in his career, now being a right back. He always puts in great performances. But overall, it was a very, very, very entertaining El Clasico. I think El Clasico has kind of lost a lot of its star power and allure ever since Messi and Ronaldo left. But this one lived up to the billing. It was entertaining, from Barcelona taking an early 1-0 lead. I actually went to watch the match at the Real Madrid bar in San Francisco, across the street from Oracle Park. It was very, very full. I was trying to find a table. I got there a little late. I was trying to find a table, scouting the area, and I was still looking for a place to sit potentially. And Barcelona scored a goal 1-0. I didn't really even get to see it that well because I was trying to hunt down a spot to sit. But all is well. Beautiful Lucas Vasquez play. He did fall, he did look for the penalty. He did ask, questions from the defender, and it was a soft pen, I do have to say. But I've seen a lot of people comparing it to the penalty against Saka, and although I see why they would do it, because both players stick their leg out, I think one is more of a penalty, like it's way more of a penalty than the other. Vasquez left foot actually makes contact with the Barca's defender's foot, and then he sticks out his right foot to get even more contact. So both of his feet make contact with the Barcelona player. In the Saka one, he completely stretches his leg out looking for contact. Whatever, soft pen. There's a lot of soft pens that get given out. All I have to point out is Messi's Argentina's penalties. Every single one in the World Cup was a super, super soft. So, soft pens get called all the time. Sometimes they hurt your team. Sometimes they help your team. The goal that they took away from Barcelona, that didn't count. It didn't cross the line. VAR checked it. It didn't cross the line. There's been multiple TV stations, and some other one that said that they used their technology and it looked like it didn't cross the line. So it is what it is. It didn't cross the line on VAR. Other TV networks, French TV network that has no connection to Madrid, has even said that they use their technology. It doesn't look like the ball crossed. So, go cry me a river. It is what it is. It didn't cross the line. So you can't get a goal if it doesn't cross the line, Obviously, there's some angles that make it look like it did, but, if you know anything about soccer or football, you know that there's been a lot of controversies. Just look at Japan versus Spain in the World Cup. The assist, it looked like the ball was out. They took an aerial look at it, and it was in. There's a lot of times where that happens, where the ball looks like it's out, but it's actually in. So it is what it is. They checked it. They went to VAR. They said no pen, so no pen. But yeah. HALA Madrid, what a week, defeating Man City in the Champions League, eliminating them. I mean, it goes down as a tie because it went to penalties, but eliminating Manchester City in the penalties, the reigning champions of a Champions League, winning a Clásico. Atletico Madrid go down in the Champions League. Barcelona go down in the Champions League. Beautiful week. To be honest, there's some Madrid fans that get a lot of joy out of the other teams falling out, but me, not so much. I'm more happy that Madrid beat Man City. Barcelona and Atletico Madrid losing, it's like a little added bonus just to talk shit to the fans and stuff like that. But it doesn't really move my needle too much. I'm not overly happy. It wouldn't, if Real Madrid would have lost, it wouldn't really have softened the blow for me. It would hurt if they go on and win it. But it's not that important to me. Whatever they do, as long as Real Madrid is doing good, I don't really care. They could all go to the semifinals and finals and just lose to Madrid. I don't really care what round they lose in, but still added positive that it all lined up in 1 week. It was pretty fun. But man, just got to give Ancelotti props. The man is always cool as ever. Even if you look at his reaction to a Bellingham's winner, everyone's running out. You see Vini coming out of the bench, running towards the celebration. You see Rodrigo coming right behind him. You see all the trainers ready to hug someone, ready to hug Ancelotti. And Ancelotti's just cool as ever. Turns around, paces a little bit, looks around, starts talking to his players about like what to do next. Like, man, Ancelotti just seems like a very relaxed, in the moment dude. Like, he seems, it's all these years of experience of being a manager, and it's also like who he is. I think like that's just his personality. Very even keel, doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. I'm so glad he re-signed with Madrid. I'm so glad he's not going to the Brazil national team, which would have been cool to see him coach Vini and Rodrigo, and Casemiro maybe in the national team. But I'm more than happy to keep him here in Madrid. But going forward, it does look like Madrid is going to win La Liga, 11 points with, I believe, 6 games left. 11-point lead with 6 games left. I think that should be enough to get it done. So now let's see if Madrid could get the double. They got Bayern away, and then Bayern at home in the semis, and then maybe PSG or Dortmund in the final if they get through. I think it's definitely doable. I think if we get the double, it'll be a very good season. And I do have to say this, because Bayern Leverkusen is having a great year. They might get the treble, but it'll be the Europa League treble. They might win the cup. They already won the Bundesliga, and they'll win Europa League. So people are like, how should we rate that treble compared to like a Champions League treble? And although it is a treble and it's a European treble, because it is Europa, I would rate it obviously lower than the Champions League treble, but I would also rate it lower than a Champions League double if it's the league. If it's the cup, I don't think maybe, because Champions League just has so much cachet that it supersedes almost anything. But for surely it's more a Champions League and your domestic league. I would rate it higher than your domestic league, your domestic cup, and Europa. Because at that point, you both won the league, so you could kind of cancel those out. And then would you rather have a Champions League, or would you rather have Europa League and your domestic cup? And I think for me, it's pretty easy. It's Champions League. Now, if you want to do domestic cups, cancel out, and now you're left with League and Europa versus Champions League, then I think it becomes a little more close. League and Europa League against Champions League, but I think I would lean Champions League, not gonna lie. Well, I mean, that's a question for people that are here. If you guys want to chime in on that, would you rather win a treble with Europa or a league Champions League double? And then the next question is Europa League treble or a double with a cup, your domestic cup and the Champions League. I think I would lean Champions League almost every single time if the treble involves Europa League, but that's just me. As a Madrid fan, you know, we're the kings of Europe. It's our league. It's our tournament. I might be biased, but I'm interested to hear what people think. It's definitely a topic. I think it's pretty clear Champions League, but I could see why you would argue something else, especially if you haven't won the league in your whole history, or if you haven't you haven't won it in like 30 years or something like that. Like it might have a lot of importance. But back to Madrid, great season. La Liga is almost there. I think like in 2 more games, it could be mathematically done. It's pretty much done. I think 2 more games, or if they drop a couple more points, then it could be over. But finish strong, Madrid, and hopefully, I'll do a topic against Bayern before that gets closer. But HALA Madrid.